And welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where father and son sit down and talk about some fantasy things, but perhaps decidedly not books today. I'm the son of that equation, Zach.
And I'm the father, Jim, and I'm slightly distracted because I'm trying to do tech things that I forgot to do before we started.
You did forget to do things, but that's okay.
Yes!
Is it really an episode of us if we didn't forget something? Tell me at least you have a drink.
I do have a drink. I also have a
Okay.
computer's fan that's self-destructing here, so oh no. We'll
Eh,
hope everything tech-wise keeps working.
as long as nothing burns down, explodes, or drifts away into dust, it's fine. Um.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Anyway, how you doing, Dad?
I'm doing fine. I again suddenly feel a little discombobulated. That's all my fault. Maybe it's because we haven't done this together in so long. I kind of forgot how these things work.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah,
Specifically, it's been a while for me. I
yeah, our
had to
listeners
miss
have
for a couple
gotten
of
a lot of me, a lot of me, a lot of me,
I had to miss for a
and our
couple of
awesome
things
Carrie, by the
scheduling
way.
wise. I super appreciate that. Um, I it was a great episode, great content. I'm glad that someone was able to fill in, especially someone with such poignant insights to having recently read it, because I was dying. Not really, but
Well, I didn't hear from you much for days, so you could have
no,
been.
I was sick and bedridden for a few days there. Um, I'm through it now. Just occasionally blow my nose,
You look
but
good.
kind
You
of
look
just
good.
in time for us to be heading to Atlanta here shortly for Jordan
Whoop
Con.
whoop! Later this week, going to Jordan Con. Yep. We're recording this on Tuesday. I leave early Thursday morning
I
to get there
leave
Thursday evening.
mid to late Thursday, but get there Thursday evening.
Yeah, yeah. Looking forward to it. Also, looking forward to
Oh no,
giving these. They're green in
Dad,
front of
it's
a green
green
screen.
on a green screen.
So I'm not going to show them
You
what's on
didn't
them,
think
but
that very far
well,
through.
I wasn't going to show them no matter what. I just wanted them to see we're bringing ribbons this year. All right. So people have a
It's
chance to
okay
get
though.
those.
Carrie can see.
And this episode won't drop until after Jordan Con, anyways. So they'll already have the ribbons. I could just show it, except we do have patrons who can see them early.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
we
like,
don't want that.
no, she already saw. I mean, I don't know if she saw any details because
A
I
green
didn't.
blob of
But
nothing. Yes.
exactly.
Um.
Anyways, what else we got?
Let's see. What are we drinking?
Mm,
I went with just a Long Island iced tea because you said you're blowing your nose from time to time. Well, I've got allergies up here in full bloom, so I'm not
mm.
sick, but there's a little more gunk around because
So
of
you're
all
clearing
the
it out with a
pollen,
lot
and
of poison.
so just Long Island. It's easy and it's nice.
Fair enough. I went even easier. I opened a can of beer.
Ooh, but is it a lager? Is it an amber? Is it a IPA? Is it an APA? Is it a porter? Is it a stout? Tell the world.
It's a Belgian wheat ale.
Okay, one I didn't name. All right. Um, Brief notes before we jump into our content today.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
we've had some nice interactions with fans and followers and stuff.
Absolutely.
Our Twitter followers topped 900 now. We're up in the 900s. That's
Which is
cool.
huge, way more than
Absolutely.
5.
Yes. We've come a little farther than that. Our YouTube channel, as of this time, is up to 235 subscribers. They just keep climbing.
Hey, that one has a 5 in it.
Thank you for all of you who are subscribing and enjoying the fun. We're going to try to keep bringing stuff. We had a lot of content coming out like day after day after day for a while there, but then life got really busy. So it's been more
Yeah.
just the Wednesdays and Sundays again for a little while now, but we'll get the short stuff coming back out to you soon. Let's see. The only other thing is I'd love to know, since we haven't
Mhm.
talked directly for a
Yes.
while, what the heck have you read since the last time?
I've gotten through a bunch of things, I think. I don't entirely remember what the last thing I said I read was. So we're going to go back to the last thing that I know I haven't mentioned, I think, which is to say, I read The Trials of Ashmount. You got to talk to John, and I was
Yes.
sad to miss it. Unfortunately, I was working at the time, but I actually really enjoyed that book. More
There
than
you
I thought
go.
I was going to.
It's so good. And that episode, over 50 people have
Mhm.
watched the full episode on YouTube. They're definitely getting some traction, which is good. He deserves it.
Absolutely. It surprised me. But I mean this in the best way possible. I had not heard of him as an author. So I was like, I don't know what to expect. This could go good. This could go bad. It went very well. It was good.
Very well. Yeah. No. And for his debut novel, I mean, awesome. So his second book in the series comes out June 1st. You can pre-order now. I already have.
Nice. So a couple other things to run through here. I read the second book in The Expanse. It's up there ish.
It is.
Caliban's War. That was a good little read there.
That was a while ago you finished that, isn't it?
I did finish that a little while ago. Not too crazy long, but I think
Okay.
since the last time I was on, that shows how long it's been. Because we also got through The Dolphins of Pern, which was for book club. Then I read Summer Night. I am still getting my way through Dresden. It just bit by bit.
So we can get a new
40 minutes in
book
there.
blast out on that one soon.
Then I got the third book of the Acts of Cain, Cain Black Knife.
Wow. Was that good?
I enjoyed it. It was a step down from
Okay.
the other two, but it was still enjoyable, and I'm excited for where the fourth book will go because I think it will tie very closely in.
Okay. Very nice.
And I've got more. Then I
Keep
started
going.
into Mistborn Era 2. I've read The Alloy of Law now. Kind of rounding out Cosmere stuff that I haven't read. There's not a whole lot left there, but Mistborn Era 2 is still a missing gap for me. Then we jump back to The Expanse, and I read Abaddon's Gate, the third book. I have not started the fourth yet, so that's all I've got of The Expanse so far. And finally, today I finished our next book club book, Dragon's Eye. Or I think it's also called like Red Star Rising or something.
Yes, but I like Dragon's Eye better.
Anyways, that was like 8 books I just said I read.
Dude, you've been busy. You have been busy.
I'm sure you've got more though. But
Well,
it's been
I have
less
been
time for you
busy
since the last time.
as well. But I haven't got through as much as you because one of the books I'm still reading is Dead House Gates, book 2 of Malazan. Now, when we last talked, I was on Gardens of the Moon, book 1. But these are massive books. So I can go days and only get 2 or 3% further into the Kindle version. It's so good. I'm so enjoying Malazan.
And it's dense.
But it takes a while. Yeah. So that's what I'm reading in Kindle version. In a physical book, I'm not reading anything right now because that's what I'd been doing with the Pern books, but I ran out of physical copies. So now I'm having to trade back and forth between Malazan and McCaffrey's Pern on my Kindle.
That's a very interesting juxtaposition.
It is a definite different feel between those books. But then I'm also listening to multiple books on my Audible listens. So that's how I got to right over here, Helldivers 10, Fallout. That was excellent. Loved it. Then I had been last time listening to Black House with Stephen King, Peter Straub, and I finished that. So that was good. Then I did Helldivers. And then I moved on to Jacqueline Druga's Rise series, which is not very long. I'm on book 2 of 3 already, and I just started them yesterday. So these go pretty fast.
Not too long at all.
Yeah, nice apocalyptic, little bit of horror style.
Yeah, stories. I don't think nice apocalyptic and horror usually are said together, but
it is if you're me. And if you want to know more about nice apocalyptic and horror and my preference, go check out my Horror Movies to Love episode that just dropped earlier this week. Okay, that's the stuff I've been reading. So there we go. Let's get into what we're here for today.
Yes, what are we in for?
This is just one of our odd kind of midweek special-ish type of episodes. We're going to dive into the Marvel Cinematic Universe again. Today, specifically rating our preference of the 31 movies that have come out so far since 2008 when the MCU kicked off. there are some years where multiple movies have come out during that
Oh,
time,
yeah.
because 2008 was not 31 years ago.
So it's important to mention here. You said Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we're not including shows. We're not including things that are Marvel but aren't MCU.
You find no X-Men here.
No
Yep.
Deadpool.
Yet. Deadpool
Yeah.
3 will enter the MCU.
But officially, we're not there yet. Same with Into the Spider-Verse. Great movie. Not
But not
MCU.
here. Yeah. By the way, Deadpool 3, we did get recent confirmation that as it enters Disney's owned MCU, the F-bombs will still drop. It's going to be full Deadpool. They are not toning it back for this one.
Glad
which
to
is
hear
very
Disney decided
non-Disney.
they won't be family friendly for the sake of
No,
it.
it will not. Your teenagers will still love it, but you might be cringing at what you're exposing them to. And then again, you may not be. So how we're going to go about this then is we are going to develop between the two of us the ultimate order of best to worst of these movies. Now, we're going to go through them chronologically. You have rated them in advance, so have I. And we will share notes on these.
Okay.
I will call you a complete doofus at times.
Yeah, I'll call
you will be shocked at my foolish opinions, and we will debate and argue a little bit.
Okay.
I might virtually throw things at you. Who knows? We'll see where this goes. But I have a spreadsheet ready.
Are we going to average our
better
scores?
with spreadsheets. What was that?
Are we going to average our placement?
We are.
Okay,
So
okay.
My number, your number, I've got it ready to calculate, and at the end we'll sort, and we will have the ultimate 1 through 31. And we'll see
when
what
we have ties,
with.
I'll go ahead and roll a die.
Okay. So moving through in order, let's just kick this off. We start out with what the first gamble that Marvel Studios made and went with Iron Man in 2008 with Robert Downey Jr. as the lead character. And they went all in with their style. It really demonstrated what they were going to do with the rest of these movies because it set a tone that they've stayed pretty consistent to. I think it's a pretty good movie. I think you think it's a pretty good movie.
It's solid. I mean, all of these, take it with a grain of salt of it's a Marvel movie. It's a superhero movie. If that's not your cup of tea, you're not going to like any of these.
I mean, they're not going to win Oscars.
No, but we're fun-loving comic book nerds that enjoy all of this. So
that's correct.
What did you place it
I gave
as?
Iron Man, out of the 31 of them, I gave it a number 4. Way up high for me.
Wow. That's a lot higher than I expected.
It sets the table.
I think you're right. It sets the table, but it's not that good. Though I do think it's the best of the Iron Man movies. So
Agreed.
I gave it a solid 13 out of 31.
All right, that's still
it's
the top third for you.
Now, there is a small disclaimer that I'm going to put here and now. There are a couple movies in the MCU that I still have not seen. For the sake of just the fact that I can't score them, I haven't seen them, I had to put those last. They might be great movies that I just haven't seen yet.
I have 2 movies like that as well. I did not put them last. I rated them based on what I've heard of them and the general feel of what I expect to see when I get to it. Because there were some other movies that definitely are going to be down at the bottom, but I couldn't see myself putting them behind it.
You knew how we were going to do this system. You just told me to rank them. So I basically said, those ones are on the outside. I can't really rank them.
If on the fly you want to change your mind on that, feel free. And I will not judge.
Nope. I made my bed. I'll lie in it.
It'll be funny to see if it's the same 2 movies. Okay. Number 2, also in 2008, The Incredible Hulk. Not nearly as effectively setting the stage. It's like we did Iron Man, we did Incredible Hulk. They kind of had different tones and different approaches, and Iron Man was the winner, so we stuck with that mode.
I remember seeing The Incredible Hulk when we were not home. We were on vacation.
It's not a bad movie, but
No.
Compared to the rest, it struggles.
As I remember, granted, this is my memory as a kid, it was not originally MCU when it was made, but rather
It's kind of
shortly
gone
after
back
being
and
made,
forth.
it got like retroactively made into an MCU movie. So it doesn't fit tonally with the rest. It doesn't have the same lead actor because there were creative differences. Um, it's a movie.
I dropped it pretty low, though. I gave it a 27.
We gave it the same number,
Whoa.
27.
Hey, guess what? That average is a 27.
Hmm, you don't say.
I do say. Okay, then Carrie's like, whoa.
I'm
Yeah,
curious
don't
if
expect
anything
that to
else will
happen
match
again, Carrie.
anything else.
Iron Man 2.
Okay. We
Not
can
a
agree
very
this
good
is worse
movie.
than Iron Man 1, right?
Yeah, it's just not very good. I mean, it was Iron Man, yay! And there wasn't much else out there yet, so we were excited for more Iron Man, but there's a lot of weaknesses
I
with
mean,
this movie.
Iron Man 2 introduced Black Widow.
It also introduced the dude with a whip.
Yeah.
I gave this a 23.
I gave it a 24.
Ooh,
So
we're
we were
still
close.
pretty close there. Okay, Thor, 2011. This is
I think
where
it's
we
better than
go,
Iron
hey,
Man 2.
this is where we go, hey, Marvel might be onto something.
Thor historically has had some of the best and some of the worst Marvel movies, in my opinion. This one,
This is not the best Thor.
no, but there's nothing objectively wrong. It's just not as good as most MCU movies. So I gave it a 23.
Well, I am definitely different in my recollections, and it's not like I went back and rewatched it, but just my feel and how I put it compared to others, I gave it a 12. So much higher than you thought.
Way higher.
Yeah. Okay. Then we've got, also in 2011, Captain America, The First Avenger.
This one's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's
You maybe jump on it higher than I do. I give it a
maybe.
9.
No, you jumped out higher than I did. I gave it an 11.
Whoa. 11 is
Averages
a
to a
okay
10.
movie.
I mean, 11 is still top third of these movies, really. It's a solid movie. It's good, but there's better.
Okay. All right. Carrie is typing. I'm wondering what she's putting in Discord now. Okay. Then we get to the final movie in. Oh, she's loving it. Grabs popcorn. Okay. The next we have is The Avengers, which is the final movie in phase 1.
Yeah.
Infinity Saga, phase 1. Okay. So The Avengers, I think we're going to be different in our voting here because I love these accumulation movies. I've been on the record for that.
And I've been on the record saying sometimes they lose points for me because they can't do as much character development. They're not as good as standalone movies. They're great building. I love the climax, but there's something lacking in the quality of the movie itself.
Yeah.
This kind of hits right in my middle section here that is a little messy because I moved a couple of things around after I'd made my list.
Okay.
I gave the original Avengers 15. It's kind of like dead center there.
Well, I gave it a 5. It's one of my more preferred movies in the whole sequence. I like the Avengers.
Now, we
Just
haven't
the
hit
things that
either
finally
of our
rolled
top
out.
3 yet, have we?
No, we don't have any in the top 3 yet.
That being said, I think we've hit more in the top half for you than for me.
And we have 2 that average number 10. So that's going to be a problem later. We'll have to sort out.
However, we haven't hit a single one for me that is top 10.
All right. Next, we start off phase 2 with Iron Man 3. And unfortunately, that was not a great way to start a new phase.
No.
But it's better than the way to end a phase.
You're right. There's that. It is the worst of the Iron Man trilogy.
Yes. I gave it a 30. There's only one movie in the whole MCU I think is worse than Iron Man 3.
I mean, to be fair, the only things I put realistically below it, excluding the things that I haven't seen, or Hulk I already mentioned, and something else. So Iron Man 3 got 26 for me.
Okay, we agree. This is not one of the keepers. There were still things I liked about the movie. Every one of these,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
entertaining things. We want to be clear. We are not saying any of these movies are a waste of time.
No, there were things I enjoyed. The Mandarin was not one of them.
Okay, and then we get to Thor: The Dark World,
Mm,
also in 2013.
this is the one that's worse.
Not for me, but it's down there. I gave it a 25.
I
So
gave it a
you
28.
all right.
Thor: The Dark World
We're
is
in
a
agreement.
bad
It's
movie.
down. It's down there.
Uh,
Carrie, with us there, patron in Discord. Be sure to let us know if you completely
yes.
disagree with Zach at any point.
In the past couple years, Rach and I have been working our way through the MCU. She's not fully caught up, but she is in like the most recent phase and stuff. I think the last thing we watched together was Shang-Chi. But when we got to Thor: The Dark World, I said, "Have you seen it?" And she goes, "I don't think so." And I said, "Okay, we're skipping it because it's not worth watching."
No, I disagree. There's still stuff in
There's
there.
a couple of things that you need to know for the greater MCU, but it's not worth watching.
Again, disagree. I will enjoy watching even Thor: The Dark World, but it's definitely much weaker than a lot of the others. Okay, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. You have raved about this one in the past, Zach.
Yes. Yes, I have. We're cracking my top 10 for the first time with this one. I think it's a great movie, both plot wise, and I love the practical combat action sequences, how it's done. It's right in my wheelhouse. This is my number 3.
Wow. So 2014's The Winter Soldier gets a top three, the first top three we've seen out here from either of us. I only gave it a 7. But again,
That's
single
still
digits,
good.
it's up
Top
there.
10.
It's up there. Yeah. Okay. Then we get to 2014's knockout surprise movie that a lot of people were like, I don't even know what this is. Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew of the comics. I'd never wasted my time on them because they didn't look like they were worth spending any time in.
I enjoyed this. It was fun. I was hooked on the feeling. Um, it got my top 10 as well. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 got the number 6 slot for me.
This one got my number 3. So
Okay,
there we
okay.
go. We've both cracked the top 3. Neither of us have gone to our 1 or 2 yet, but yeah, both our 3s are on the board now. That was a strong one. Guardians of the Galaxy. Awesome movie. Then 2015, we got 2 more movies. First is Avengers: Age of Ultron. It's
I
a weaker, for me, it's the weakest of the Avengers movies.
I wanted to put this one higher than I did, but I couldn't justify it. I think it gets a lot of bad rap, especially because it introduces some characters that I enjoy. It's a great intro for Vision as a character, um, but you're right; it's the weakest Avenger movie. So Age of Ultron for me got the 18 slot.
Oh, we're close there. I gave it 19. We're just right there, neck and neck on this one. They made some mistakes with this movie. They even cast some characters that then they recast as other people, and it's like, although they had a little fun with Quicksilver when they come around to
Yeah,
the TV show
granted,
with
what they did with this one was a little bit difficult because of the rights and X-Men and a whole mess.
yeah. The rights should never get in the way of our entertainment, people. Work it out before you put it on screen. Okay.
Yeah, Disney, you should have bought them sooner. Because that's how they worked it out.
All right, so there's one more movie in this phase, and it's kind of anticlimactic that it's also in this phase. It's kind of like, and we slipped this one into
I think I know what you're
Ant-Man.
talking about. Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean anticlimactic?
Because
Ant-Man's a good
Avengers,
movie.
Age of Ultron, that's your big end of phase type of movie. And then let's put Ant-Man in too.
Yeah, but
But
here's the
Ant-Man
thing.
is a great movie.
Ant-Man's great. It's fun. It's family friendly, funny, and it's a great standalone. You don't need the rest of the MCU. This was just a good Marvel comic book.
Carrie agrees. She loves Ant-Man. It's one that exceeded my expectations.
He's back.
Oh, you on my side, you're the one that was gone. Oh, that was weird.
We just disconnected a little bit. Gotta wait for AOL to dial up again. Anyway,
we better repeat ourselves to make sure we didn't miss anything.
It's a great movie.
I was just going to say,
loved it.
I could deal with the bit with Ant-Man was simply that it surprised people and I think surpassed expectations.
Oh yeah. Would you put it?
8.
7.
We're right there again. Nice.
We agree with the general spot at least.
Yeah, for quite a few of these. You know, there's only a couple that we've been really polar different. I mean,
we've got similar tastes, just some things are vehemently different.
Like Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Captain America Civil War in 2016 kicks off phase 3. Still, and this is the last phase of the Infinity Saga now. A lot of things coming to a head. So, what'd you think of this one, Zach?
I liked this movie. All the Captain Americas I enjoy. It did suffer from the fact that its entire plot only really matters for the over story. And so it's like, is it a Captain America movie or is it an Avengers movie? What is this? That doesn't mean it's bad by any means, but it did lower it down a little bit for me personally, which gave it the number 12 slot. It's only right behind the first Captain America movie for me, but it's just right in there.
Well, Carrie, come on. He's out of his mind here on this one, right? Come on. Captain America Civil War takes my number 1.
That takes your number 1?
That is my favorite of all 31 so far. Partly because I'm a big fan of the Civil War story arc in the comics. You know how many I have all of those compendiums.
I know you do.
Civil War.
That's why I'm surprised. Because
now,
truthfully,
this still
while I enjoyed the movie Civil War and I enjoy the comic line Civil War, if you think of it as an adaptation of Civil War, it butchered it.
No. It's just that it brings the same tension together, and you got the superheroes against superheroes. You got Iron Man against Captain America. I mean, the conflict is real. It's there, and let's throw in the new Spider-Man. You know, so it's a good movie. I enjoyed this one thoroughly. We get big Ant-Man. I mean, all sorts of fun things happen in Captain America Civil War. I was thoroughly entertained.
It's entertaining. Lots of fun things did happen. I don't love the airport fight scene that much. It's a little too bombastic for me. But I do love the
word of the day. Ding, ding, ding. Bombastic.
For me, I think it honestly suffers by calling it Civil War. Calling it something else, I think would have made it better because it wouldn't tease me about the comic book storyline.
Okay. We're going to differ on that one, but you still have it in your top half at least. We'll go there.
I got the 12 spot. It was still good.
Then we move on to 2016, Doctor Strange. This was one I was looking forward to because I like Doctor Strange. I think he brings a very different element to the Marvel universe.
I think it's good, it's valid, but it's also just compared to the other movies I have to pick from, it's mid.
Well, I'm not going to say it's not mid. I gave it a 14. So it is mid.
This is one that moved around a little bit for me. It ended up in the 20 spot.
20. All right. But averaging, this is almost dead center in the middle, almost, for us collectively. So I liked introducing this actor as well to the MCU. We certainly enjoy him as an actor. Carrie's top 10. Disappointed. More in you than me.
As I reviewed my list with Rachel ahead of time, and we agreed that Doctor Strange is a good movie. However, it suffers from the fact that Doctor Strange is an asshole.
In this movie, he is. And so he's still trying to come to grips. This is part of what's good about the movie, though.
He's a semi-frustrating, annoying character who thinks too highly of himself. you could still enjoy him in things, but that's what some of his defining character traits. So I don't always love rooting for him.
He had to come to grips with
Don't get me
what
wrong, I
fate
love
had
a
set for
Benedict
him.
Cumberbatch.
But
Yeah, but
come on,
what?
come on.
Yeah, he's great. But no.
Okay, moving on. 2017 comes in with a sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy, very creatively called Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
It was the B side.
And what did you say?
It was the B side.
Oh, the B side. Yes. It's not listed in the official name, however. But not as good as the first one. Still a good movie. Still a good
enjoyable.
movie. Yeah, for me, this is getting kind of middle of the roadish, so I gave it a 16.
I gave it a 19 in the end. It's better than Doctor Strange for me. I still enjoyed it, but I just
The plot
whole
line
Ego
with his
plot
dad,
line, I was like,
not
eh.
super strong.
I mean, maybe it's just the fact that I don't really have that bad of daddy issues.
Thank goodness.
I couldn't relate enough. I don't know.
And I might be getting big, but I'm not the size of a planet yet.
Your ego.
Oh.
Sorry, it was right there. Play on words. His name's Ego. It's hard.
All right. Now let's get to one that we might have a difference of opinion on. It'll be interesting. 2017 also gave us Spider-Man Homecoming. Now that Spider-Man is in the MCU, he gets his own first movie. It's part of a plan for more.
How do you think
Spider-Man. They did?
I'm always going to love Spider-Man.
Right. Okay.
I do think this is, for me, the weakest of the Spider-Man movies in the MCU.
Interesting.
It's good, it's fun, it's whatever, but the stakes are real low. It's whatever. There's one scene that will like bring me close to tears almost every time. It just hits me in the feels. But it's one scene out of the entire movie. So I gave it a 14.
Okay. I gave it a 10. So it's a little better for me. And I'll admit right here, right now, for me, it's the highest ranked of the Spider-Man movies.
You're wrong.
Well,
you
have the right to disagree. So you said 14? Is that that's what you said?
Yes, 14.
Okay. Cursor go. Okay. Keeping the spreadsheet updated. All right, now Thor Ragnarok, also in 2017, our third movie for Marvel's MCU.
Now this one we can agree is the probably best Thor movie, at least top 2 Thor movies.
Yes, we can agree. Heck, cool. I can agree. I gave it my number 2. I love this movie.
Yeah, I think it's great. Taika Waititi is wonderful. I gave this a 4.
All right, this is a strong one for us. I mean, we get a chunk of the Planet Planet Hulk storyline here, and the bits between the Hulk and Thor in this is just priceless.
Thor Ragnarok is the Hulk movie that we didn't get.
Yeah, it really is. Carrie doesn't think she's seen this one. You need to go see this one just from our ratings. You should understand how good this movie is.
Entertaining, has great sequences, it has
action,
villains
comedy,
that you love to hate, but also
Jeff
just
Goldblum,
love because they're badass. It's got heroes coming to terms with themselves and a little bit of coming of age, like the original Thor was supposed to be. It's a good movie.
It's got a Valkyrie. It's got everything you need. It's a good movie. Yeah. All right. Then we start 2018 off with Black Panther. Long awaited.
We're going to disagree on
where's
this
Black Panther?
I'm just going to take a wild shot in the dark. We're going to disagree on this one.
Okay. Perhaps. I think you'll probably rate it higher than I did.
I also agree with that statement.
It's a strong movie for me. I gave it an 11.
I think this is a great movie. It has one of the best closure endings in the MCU,
Okay.
the villain loses and yet also wins because while their methods are bad, they were right. I love the cast. I love the characters.
Wow.
This is my number 2.
Wow. Yeah, for me, that's too high.
Black Panther was a great movie.
It was done well. It was done well. I guess maybe for me, why it's partly down is I'm not as into the Black Panther storyline to start with. So, okay, they can make a good movie about it, but I don't care as much. And that impacts how I feel. It's subjective.
Nah, it's subjective. You're wrong.
This was definitely the best Black Panther movie. We'll get to
It's
that.
the best in my ratings because the other one's one of the ones I haven't seen.
Okay. Also, then in 2018, we have Avengers Infinity War. Heck, a good movie. Lot of things that happen.
I gave this one pretty good. I'm not crazy on the big team up movies, but I gave this one and its counterpart pretty decent.
Okay.
I gave Infinity War top 10 status. It got my number 9 slot.
All right. All right. Well, we're close. We're in, is it multiples? I gave it a 6.
Okay. You're a factor.
Factor,
But not,
thank you.
But
Okay.
even then, you're not. Because
they're both
you
in
would
the
need to multiply.
family
They're in
of
the 3 tree.
54.
They're in the 3 tree.
In the 3 tree. All right, Carrie agrees that's a good movie. Yes, it is. It's only half a movie, but it's a big half a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Also in 2018, then we have our next Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Not as good as Ant-Man.
Not as good as the first one. It's still a decent movie.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not as good.
Doesn't hold up compared to a lot of other movies that Marvel puts out here. So I gave it a 22.
I similarly had to drop it down a bit. It's 21 for me.
Wow, that's another one we're very close. Okay. Then we get to Captain Marvel. This is the first of 3 movies in 2019 to finish off Phase 3. So, Captain Marvel. Now, I have to admit, I know a lot of people who love Captain Marvel, and I fell asleep during it.
See, I didn't have that experience.
And then I had to watch it again. I'm like,
I think Captain Marvel's pretty good. And I think it gets a lot of undue hate. And there's a lot of people who I don't care to talk about comics with who hate this movie. That don't share the same values as I do. And it's just a really nasty conversation to have. That being said, it still sits middle of the road for me. I gave it a 16.
And I gave it a 20. So we're fairly close again. It's a necessary movie for the next movie. We need to introduce Captain Marvel so Captain Marvel can play the role she plays in Avengers Endgame.
Due to this movie, she's arguably one of the more important characters for the sake of the MCU as a whole and the state that it kind of will go into from now on. But yeah, she needed something to be able to show up.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about Avengers Endgame. This is really the second half of the other movie. Avengers Infinity War finishes in Avengers Endgame.
Because it's basically just the closure to Infinity War, I had to put these 2 movies right next to each other because they're a little inseparable.
Now, technically, they're 5 years apart.
In
the Marvel universe, they're 5 years apart.
You're wrong.
Weren't they 5 years?
In multiple ways, you're wrong. One, it picks up immediately after and then has a 5-year time jump within the movie.
You're right.
And
you're right.
This is a movie that focuses on time travel.
So it's all over the place.
Exactly. You're as wrong as you could be on that one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, I did not put it side by side. So you said you gave it 7?
No, I gave it an 8. I did think Endgame was a little better than Infinity War, if only because it's the conclusion to that massive movie that is 2 movies.
Now, I went the other direction. I actually gave it a 13. It's still a good movie. I still enjoy it, but the first half of the movie was just a little annoying as everyone's angsting over the world and how it is now, and we get Fat Thor and stuff that I'm like, can we move past this because I want to get to what's going to happen. So
You're
it
all
was
about those big action sequences.
it was a slow build, a
Character
lot of stuff that
development,
just annoyed me.
feelings.
Yeah, come on, move on, make things blow up. So yeah, it's still good. Yeah, if we put 6 and 13 together and average it or something, it's like overall a 9 for me. I don't know, something like that. But let's finish phase 3 with Spider-Man Far From Home, also in 2019.
I liked this movie. I liked this better than Homecoming. I think it did a really good job of giving us something we expected with a villain that we knew was going to be a villain, and then subverting our expectations and being like, no, they're not a villain, and then actually meeting our expectations and saying, no, they're actually the villain. While also, Far From Home benefited from the amount of Iron Man that exists in the MCU. And it made it a more compelling story and something that you invested in better. And it was just a good movie, therefore, in a number of ways. I gave it my 5. I gave Far From Home my 5 slot.
We are way off on this one because I drop it down to 21.
Ooh.
It's my weakest of the Spider-Man movies. It's still good because all MCU movies are good, even the ones that aren't very good. They're still good to watch. It's still MCU, it's still Marvel, okay, but I really enjoyed the first one. Bringing Spider-Man, getting the real Spider-Man, I felt like finally, yay, who I can really enjoy. And this one was just okay. It's another Spider-Man movie. It was good, but there's some parts I really enjoy. The Vulture, I mean, there's some parts I like here, but
Vulture is in Homecoming.
Okay.
Far From Home is Mysterio.
In this one too? Isn't he in this one too?
No,
this is the Mysterio line.
Mysterio.
Okay. No, I'm still going to stand by that then. So 21. Doesn't he appear right towards the end?
No.
You sure? It's an extra credit scene?
I mean, as an extra credits thing, we get J. Jonah Jameson.
I thought we got the Vulture too. I don't know.
It all starts
to blur. Let's move on. We're going to kick off Phase 4, which is also the beginning of the multiverse saga, with Black Widow. Black Widow's dead, but let's give her a movie now.
Yeah, this was a surprisingly better movie than I thought it was going to be. I expected this to be a pretty low-tier movie that I didn't really enjoy at all. And then I found it to be kind of compelling at times, had some fun bits here and there, and it gave some more depth to a character that I didn't care that much about dying, which I felt bad about not caring. After seeing it, I cared a little more. So it was successful. I gave it the 17 slot for me.
All right. I don't have my Discord window positioned in front of me like usual. So when you see my head turn, I keep looking to see what Carrie's saying. And I think this is connected to this one, that she didn't like it. It was too dark.
Yeah, those just came up.
Okay. It does kind of go down just compared to what I love about so many Marvel movies. I only gave this a 24. It means it's kind of near the top of my bottom third. Okay. Yeah, it's still better than quite a few of them, but it doesn't rank high for me. So again, you said 17?
17.
Okay. Oops. Must hit right numbers. There we go.
It does bad math if you don't put the right things in.
Now we have another one of those Guardian of the Galaxy types. It's like, what's this? A lot of people had not heard of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. They're like, yes, no clue. But that's the next 2021 movie. And it surprised a lot of people by being more entertaining than they expected, I think.
Shang-Chi delivered. It did.
Top 5 for Carrie. Top 5.
It had a great storyline. It had some really interesting set design and incorporation, and incorporated martial arts in a way that we hadn't really seen the same way. It used different styles. It was very acrobatic and cool. I liked bringing in a new character and element that we weren't super familiar with yet. but
Mhm.
also leaving them separated enough to be something else. And a personal plus for me, I actually enjoyed having a little bit more diverse casting. So
I'm just laughing at her hashtag martial arts bias in the
this
Discord.
one, it was
Pretty
not
good.
top 5 for me, but it did hit top 10. This one was my number 10 slot.
Okay. All right. This is a movie where it was better than I expected, but still the story isn't compelling enough to crack even the top half for me. So I gave it just an 18. So better than a lot of movies, but not in the top half.
Not enough
So,
things blew up for you.
right. So I didn't put yours down. Did you say 10?
10.
All right. I'm getting shamed by Carrie. Of course, whenever I look at it, it looks like I'm looking at you just because of how I screen is.
And
I
it's fine.
pointed her, and
I can
it's
shame you
you.
too.
My bad.
Shame.
Now I
Looking
feel
the
like a
wrong
Game of
way.
Thrones episode. Shame,
Shame.
shame. Throw some
Shame.
vegetables and poop at me.
Shame.
Okay. Then 2021. There are 4 movies to come out in 2021.
Big year.
Do you think partly COVID was involved? I think 1 or 2 of these was supposed to come out in 2020, and they delayed it because of
Maybe.
COVID.
Because I was sitting here
People weren't
going
going to
you're trying to
theaters.
say COVID was involved, and I'm like, COVID messed with production times. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, delayed. Maybe.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
possible.
Because again, the theaters were completely shut down for I think pretty much all of 2020
I
after
mean,
March.
some of these
So
movies and things I think didn't come out in the theater because they were still shut down. I think when Black Widow came out, it was originally released on
straight
Disney
to Disney.
Plus
Yeah,
and to buy, and then it was then later released to watch through
I
just
think
their
you could be
streaming.
right. It's a weird time, as Carrie says. Stupid COVID. Yeah.
Correct.
So 2021, the third movie was Eternals, which is one of their more interesting properties in the Marvel comics for what it brings. It didn't come across to the screen quite that way.
Eternals makes me sad because it's got the potential from the stuff in comics to be cool,
It should have
and
been
it
incredible.
had a wonderful cast. I loved so many of the people involved in it.
Right?
And yet the best part of the movie was a post-credits scene about people that barely appeared or didn't at all in the movie.
This cast had no synergy with each other. It just didn't come together. COVID? I gave it my 31. This is my bottom movie of the whole shebang.
See, I put this higher than a couple because I still think it had better acting from certain people.
I
It had
wanted my
certain
2 hours back
moments.
after
It
watching this
had
movie.
good CGI points of creatures and stuff that was interesting. I had to search for things that I found were good, but I didn't have to ask for my hours back. I think I watched this one possibly while I was sick with COVID or something. But
What'd
I
you give
gave
it?
Eternals 25.
All right. This is
Still
definitely
low,
doomed to be low on
but
our list. Okay. Then the last movie in phase. No, sorry, looking at the wrong spot. The last movie in 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home.
you go
Okay,
first.
I have to admit, this is one of the 2 I've still not watched. Because I can't stream it for free yet. And I've been too cheap to pay for it. So I ranked it 17. I may find that that's way too low once I actually watch it. It's true.
Hey,
But
Dad,
it's in the middle of my Spider-Man movies.
I will buy this movie for you to watch. This was a fantastic movie. It was the payoff of my entire life of Spider-Man movies.
Carrie's like, top 5.
sobbed. Rachel sobbed
All
for
right.
half an hour
So
afterwards.
we get done here. I'm supposed to go rent it right away, buy it right away, and watch it, and then bill you.
No Way Home is my number 1.
Okay. All right. Strong.
Hands down.
I will watch it and see, and I'll have to put a disclaimer in here that the episode's wrong if I feel as you say after I've watched it. Okay, now we move into 2022. There are 3 movies to round out Phase 4.
Hmm.
The first one is, and I'm just going to say none of these rank high for me.
Yeah.
Phase 4 ends in a whimper. So, Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness is my 26.
They did Wanda dirty.
They did, totally.
That being said, I still gave it higher than some things because I put some that you put pretty high in my lower things. I gave it a 22.
We're still both agreeing it's down in the 20s.
Yeah.
Thor, Love and Thunder. What the heck? 28.
See, now we're in the point where I haven't seen this movie. I don't know if I would love it.
I don't recommend it.
I think it would be an entertaining movie, but I think it's also definitely not your style. I think, as far as I'm aware, it leans
Carrie's
even more
like, it was
into
funny.
Taika Waititi's style, which is borderline drifting away from MCU stuff, but it's what the MCU is kind of starting to turn into more in that Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, Thor Ragnarok,
Infinity War back.
So I think this has potential to be decent for me, but I haven't seen it, so I gave this my 29.
So it's going to be
just because I haven't
low
seen
on
it.
our list.
Sorry.
Then we get to Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This is the last movie in Phase 4. I went into this thinking, as I knew from what I knew about the plot and the choice they made to not recast the Black Panther, but instead to just use the fact that the actual actor in life had passed away and use it.
I think that's good.
I can respect the choice, but I did not like what it did for the storyline. I did not like this movie pretty much at all, and it's my 29.
I think you're probably wrong about that one.
Not just because of the recasting. I can go on and on reasons I don't.
Seeing this,
I've got a quick take on this one. You can go see what I don't like about it.
I probably would put this somewhere between like 10 and 15 had I seen it. I haven't, so I also put it in my I just haven't seen this yet. Sorry. So it's a 30.
Carrie posted a top 10 for me. Did you mean top 10 about Black Panther? Wakanda Forever?
That's what she was talking about, I think.
Shame on Zach. And that's what you're saying.
Look, you're correct. Shame on me. It's here because I haven't seen it. It's not here because I don't like it. I can't rate it. I'll make an addendum on Twitter or something when I see it. I don't know.
Our last movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, that came out earlier this year, 2023. I have not seen it yet, but based on what I have felt about the previous Ant-Man movies and what I've seen in the teasers, I'm giving it a 15. I think I'm going to really enjoy this, but it's not going to be top 10.
I haven't seen it. I think it's going to be a solid movie, somewhere in the middle, like you are saying. I think it's really interesting that it's the first movie version that is going to be introducing a character that will be pivotal for moving on in the MCU. I also think it's really funny how that character is going to be recast shortly, considering they might be going to jail. I also have seen something on Twitter at one point that was like, how about this person? I think it's a solid choice. I think John Boyega would be a fine replacement.
Now, who's going to jail? I don't know this news story. Who's in trouble? We don't know if he's going to jail. Or you do know he's going to jail.
Jonathan Majors? Is that the name? Guy who plays Kang.
Okay.
Like, he's got, like, assault charges and things.
Could be bad. Carrie hasn't seen this movie yet either.
Yeah.
This is the most recent one, It's just a couple months ago.
I haven't seen it yet. So just because I was putting them in a list, it got my last slot, 31.
All right. I had left. We have ranked them all. Now, through the wonders of spreadsheet organizing, I'm able to very quickly sort.
How many things do we have to get Carrie to tiebreak for us?
There are 4, 5. There's 4 or 5 here where Carrie, since you're here, Stick around to be the tiebreaker. You can do
You get to
this.
pick
This
the
is only
order on some
only
of
a couple
this.
more minutes. She's like, oh man. Okay. So number 31 for us.
Okay, starting at the back.
Okay, I gotta flip this. Sort ascending. There we go. Okay, number 31 is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. That's at the bottom of our list.
Unfortunately.
And she's like, no! Yeah, sorry. It's the way it worked out.
Sorry, I just haven't
Number
seen it.
number 30, Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm at peace with that, but you haven't seen
The
it.
same
Now, those are
suffering
the
that
two
I
you
haven't
have
seen it.
Okay, so those two get
There's
shafted
3
here.
I haven't seen, but yeah.
Okay. Number 29 and number 28 are a tie. So they're really tied at 28, and Carrie's going to break this for us. It's either Iron Man 3 or Eternals. So, Carrie, which one claims the higher spot? Iron Man 3 or Eternals? She is typing.
Drum roll.
I don't think this is a tough one. Yeah, there you go. Iron Man 3 is better than Eternals.
So Eternals got
Agreed.
29, Iron Man 3 got 28.
And technically, the spreadsheet did put it that way.
It knew.
And that's not alphabetical, so I don't know how it decided.
Magic.
But it had Iron Man 3 above. Oh, I know. No, I don't know. I don't know why it did that way.
You have
but
no
it's right.
idea.
Okay. Then the 27th movie is The Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
26 is Thor: The Dark World. Yep, these are bottom dwellers.
Fair.
25, Doctor Strange in the Multitude of Madness. And I kind of feel bad that that's down there that
Feels
far.
bad being that low, but at the same time...
Even though I ranked it lower than you did. But
yeah, but we just, like, collectively...
She's like, boo.
Other ones that one of us didn't like, the other did.
I guess. Okay, number 24, Iron Man 2. It's fair. 23 is Your Fault. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah, that's the last of the 3 that I haven't seen.
Now, interestingly, right above it at 22 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. 21, Black Widow.
Okay.
20, Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Okay.
And we had both, kind of thought somewhere around there. So I'm just looking at, it's interesting how those work out.
Yeah, a lot of these.
It's ranked number 20, but neither of us gave it that low a score. You gave it an 18 and I gave it a 19. It ends up
we
ranked
gave everything
20th.
else that was better.
Yeah,
For
it's
one of
just
us, at
kind of
least.
interesting how that works. Okay, the 19th pick, Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Tied at 17. So we're going to need a tie break again from Carrie. We need the break between Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
This one's your fault, Dad. I had no problem putting Thor lower.
Hey, I ranked both of those movies higher than you ranked those movies.
Yeah.
She's typing. The pressure. She has to
hasn't
struggle on this
decided?
one. She's not sure. Thor or Guardians of the Galaxy? Who gets number 17?
Hey,
Guardians
that's
higher.
That's my...
Yeah, that means
agreement.
Zach wins that one. Yeah, because I had it the other way around. All right, fair enough. It's there. Okay. Number 16, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, okay.
Number 15, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay.
Number 14, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay.
Number 13, Spider-Man Homecoming. They're right there together. Number 12, Avengers Endgame.
Interesting.
Number 11, The Avengers.
Okay.
Number 10, Captain America, the First Avenger. We've got these Avenger things going on in this area. Okay. So that cracked our top 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 9, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay. Wait. Sorry, I'm just placing here and right.
Because you had it
That's a
as 1,
travesty. Yeah, that's a
but I
travesty.
had it as 17, so
That's a
comes in at a
travesty
9.
because you haven't seen it.
Number 8, Iron Man, the original. We have we have a tie for number 7, so we need Carrie
or for
to
number
break this
6
again.
and 7.
Yes, for 6 and 7. Okay.
He says Iron Man
Between
was 8.
yes, so it's a tie at 6. Then yes, we need to know: is it Ant-Man or Avengers: Infinity War? She wants a recount.
I mean, it's valid to a certain extent because we are missing a couple pieces, but
so for 6 and 7, which one gets 6? Ant-Man or Avengers: Infinity War? We were both very close on these votes.
No. Endgame is the time travel one. Infinity War is collect the stones. Bad
and
guy
half
edition.
of you go poof. It's a lot of ash. The poof one. All right. Which is more what I went for. I had Avengers Infinity War over Ant-Man. You were the other way around. But we had both of them close.
I have no issue with this placement because it puts Ant-Man on number 7, where I put Ant-Man.
Okay. That's true. Okay. But it put Infinity War at number 6, which is where I put Infinity War. Okay.
So we're both happy.
We have a tie for 4. So to decide which is 4 and which is 5, Carrie, this is the last time you have to vote today. Last time we put you under this pressure. Is it for number 4 instead of 5? Is it Captain America: Civil War or Black Panther?
It's really interesting that these two are the ones that ended up. One, the character's actually introduced, and one, the character gets their movie and gets to really fill out their character.
It's also interesting the way we picked these, because Civil War, I'm 1, you're 12. Black Panther, I'm 11, you're 2. We're like,
yeah, but you tanked No Way Home, which was my 1.
She just shouted Wakanda Forever. No, we're not talking about that movie.
Black Panther gets the higher
slot. She's got Black Panther. Okay. So Black Panther takes home the number 4, bumping Captain America: Civil War. Something feels wrong that the Black Panther is bumping Captain America. Come on. Really?
Nah, that feels about right.
Okay. The last 3, it's set in stone. We have this. It's here. And they happen to be in my order, not yours. So number 3.
Because you tanked some of my good ones.
Number 3, ironically, is the movie you picked as number 3, though. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which I put all the way up at 6. So we can agree it's a good movie.
And number 1, the best movie in the MCU so far by the mathematical workings of math,
is apparently
Thor Ragnarok.
Which we both agreed was very good.
Yep. Got my 2, it got your 4. It averages out as a 3, which is the highest anything scored. There you go.
Which is
whoop, whoop.
Pretty dang good, all things considered.
Yeah.
We were very divided on some things, especially our number 1 picks. But in the end, not a terrible...
Carrie's pointing out list. The one that's at the top is the one she hasn't seen.
I'm just saying, my number 1 is something that my dad hasn't seen. Our number 1 is something you haven't seen. You both have homework tonight. Or maybe tomorrow.
I'm on West Coast time. I have time to squeeze it in. So, yeah, good stuff. That's all we have here. Carrie, thanks for being with us today. It's always fun when a patron hangs out and interacts, and you got to interact next level here. There was a lot of chance.
Appreciate your input and love that we didn't have to just fight for hours about which one.
And those of you watching this later, definitely, let us know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Tell us the things you think I was wrong on, the things Zach was wrong on, the tie breaks that Carrie was wrong on.
Okay,
Let
maybe
us
don't say
hear it.
those, but
Be kind to Carrie. Yeah. We'd love to hear from you here in the responses to this video, or find us on Discord or Twitter or any other ways that you can connect with us. And for those reasons, I should probably run the outro to remind them.
it does say pretty much all of those things.
So here we go.
It's right there.
Yeah, right there. One of those.
One of the directions. Honestly, at this point, just point at the camera and you're wrong, but at least you're interesting.
There you go. So glad you were with us, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. Carrie, again, it was great to have you with us. Maybe we'll have you with us, at least on the stream, when we're at JordanCon. We are going to do a live stream, not a recording, a live stream, so it'll be open to everyone and anyone who wants to be with us. But until the next time you watch something, I gotta say it, we'll talk to you next time.